Welcome back to this lesson. As you can see, we are gradually coming to the end of the course. In this lesson, we'll be looking at chapter 3. We'll go through to chapter 5, which will be the end of the whole chapters. Now, what do you do in chapter 3? In chapter 3 is where we'll have research methodology. Some students may make mistake and call it research method. It's not a research method, but research methodology. In chapter 3, the very first thing you have is research design. What do you do in research design? You explain the design of your research, how you are going to write your research. You can employ the two methods that we have explained. It is either you are using another person's project to get idea, or you are prompting AI to write it for you. Then you change it. Remember, the AI is just to generate idea. Otherwise, it will be flagged as plagiarized content. After your research design, the next thing is area of study. You state the area where your study is taking place, then the population of the study. After your population of study, you also write about the sample of the study. Let me explain. Population of the study is the entire population you are using. Assuming you are using 4 schools, say you are carrying out about secondary schools, and you are using 4 secondary schools, 2 in rural area and 2 in urban area. Assuming they have 1,000 students in each school, you won't be using the entire 4,000 students to carry out your research. Rather, you will select few numbers from them and use it. That is what we call sample. Whatever results you get from this sample is assumed to be the entire population. Next one is your data collection method. How do you intend to collect your data? Are you going to administer it through interview or through questionnaire? Your method of data collection. You also state your data analysis techniques, how you are going to analyze your data. What tools are you going to use for the data analysis? By tools, I mean statistical tools. Then we also have data collection instruments, validity and reliability. These may not be the same in all institutions. What do we mean by validity and reliability? If you are saying that you are going to use questionnaire as your instrument, or you are going to use whatever instrument, how valid is that instrument? Has it been tested to be reliable? That's what you do in validity and reliability. Then you also state the procedures you use, ethical considerations, limitation of the study, and conclusion. You can check your department and see what they are doing, and then get idea on how you should do your own. You don't just start. I see some students writing projects from their head. Like, what I mean is they will just be writing without any project format. They'll be writing as if they are writing essay or storytelling. Research project is not done like that. That's why I always advise that you get another project from your department and follow this style. Assuming you don't know where to start to get your questionnaire items, like you want to get help, remember, AI is for assistance, not to do the entire job for you. You can use AI to generate your questionnaire items. Let's do this. Now, I have provided this prompt: generate 20-item questionnaire for a research project on the same topic we have been using. So if I click on enter, it will start to work, and as you can see, it started with the gender, age, school, background. So look at the question now. So this one is this type of question, this one is for yes or no, and the rest of them. So you can see how the questionnaire is structured. You can decide to change the prompts and let AI do the job by itself. For example, if I don't like the structure of this question, I can say use only Likert scale. Then do you see it? It will not generate question based on Likert scale. So this is how AI will help you to generate your question. Remember, some of them may not be appropriate. You need to work on them so that you don't just do copy and paste. Now, the next thing you will do is to share this questionnaire. You can do it by printing them out and share it to your respondents. If you don't want to do that, you can also share it online. You can use any survey tool of your choice. Something like Google Form is very effective and popular. So if I go to Google Form, here I can design the form by myself. After designing the form, you share the link with your respondents. Once they finish responding, you can download it into Excel. It's not a big deal. You can download it to Excel. Now let us focus on how you can also analyze this form after your respondent must have filled the forms and sent back to you, whether it is online or offline. Then in chapter 4, we have data analysis and data presentation. All the data that you have gathered, you will now start the analysis. Then you also present it. So first of all, after your introduction, you show your data preparation, then the qualitative data analysis, and finally you summarize your findings and also give conclusion. But this thing is not exactly the same in all departments. Okay, for example, if your department is in electrical, electronics engineering, or mechanical engineering, or any engineering department, or even in computer science, your chapter 3 and chapter 4 are going to be different with what I have now. This is why I have prepared computer science chapter 3 and chapter 4 as an example. If you are in any other department for that matter, look at what they are doing and see how you should organize yours. For computer science, what you will have after your introduction is analysis of existing system, because what they normally do in computer science is to develop an application, software, maybe web application or mobile application, usually software development. You analyze the existing system. For example, if they want to develop a software where travelers will book for transport online, you check what do they normally do before. So do passengers come to the park and pay? So you analyze the existing system. Now you also analyze the new system. How are you going to implement the new system? After the analysis, you design your new system. These are the things you do in chapter 3. Then in your chapter 4, you briefly introduce chapter 4. Then choose your development environment. What environment are you going to use to do your development? During our days, we normally use Visual Basic, but Visual Basic is now obsolete. So you may choose to use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript if it is just for front-end development. If it will include back-end, you will also need something like PHP or Django Python. You understand? Okay, so this is where you choose your development environment. Then you also state your implementation architecture, how you are going to implement it. Then the next thing is your software testing. Okay, after developing a software, you need to test it. The next thing is documentation or user manual. Both of them can just come as one. Some call it documentation, while others call it user manual. Whatever is prevalent in your school, you can use that. So this is what chapter 3 and chapter 4 looks like in computer science department. Okay. Then in chapter 5 is where we'll have summary and recommendations. So you summarize your findings, discuss your results, recommend for further studies. Okay, and finally you do your conclusion. So what I will do now is that I will open Excel. Here we are assuming that this is just our question. Remember, the one we asked ChatGPT to generate for us are 20 in number, but I'm just using this 3 for example. You can choose this for strongly disagreed, disagreed, undecided, agreed, and strongly agreed. I have also wrote them here, and I used a kind of coding so that it will be easy for you to perform these statistical operations on them. Apart from these link cards, we also coded the gender using 1 for male and 2 for female. You can as well group their age using a bracket, say 20 to 31, 31 to 42, and 41 and above 3. it's usually a good practice to use lesser number for lesser age brackets. Now, assuming I have this as my questionnaire and people have responded accordingly, let me now go to sheet 2 so that we'll do the analysis proper. In sheet 2, I am using 5 respondents, and for this particular question, the responder number 1 said strongly agreed. Remember our coding, strongly agreed. Then respondent number 2 did the same thing and all of that. So if you want to find out the mean, that's the average for this particular question, all you need to do is to click here and then come to the formula bar and type equal to average brackets. You then highlight the entire of this row, that is from here to this place, C2 to G2, and then close the brackets and press enter. It will give you the mean or the average for this particular question, how they responded. You can also drag this thing down to get the rest of the questions. You can see. And when you even look at the response, you will see that it tallies with the mean. Another thing that is popular in research statistical data analysis is standard deviation. Standard deviation is to check how these people agreed, whether there is too much gap between them. So let's do this. I'll place my set pointer here and then type the formula, which is equals to stdev.s. That one is for sample. Then open a bracket, highlight this thing again to this place. Remember, we are just testing the response. Then close the brackets and press enter. Click on the first one and drag it down. So I may decide to use just 2 decimal points. I will click here to get that. So this is my standard deviation, okay? Remember that we agreed from the beginning that you should have already written projects from your department. So you will see how they presented their data and use the same style to present your own data. Again, assuming we want to do some statistical charts, like we want to present a chart, we can use this to demonstrate that where 24 male responded and we have 15 females, and again about 3 persons did not indicate whether they are male or female. So to do this, I'll just highlight the range, then go to insert and click on charts. The type of chart I will choose is pie charts. Once I click on it, I'll choose the first one and we have our charts here. So the color grading is showing you their numbers. So this is how you can do your data analysis using Microsoft Excel. Remember, this is basically for undergraduates. If you are doing a postgraduate program, you will need to use a more professional data analysis software like SPSS or the engineering software if you are in engineering departments. If you would like to learn advanced Excel to do descriptive statistics, or you want to do inferential statistics using SPSS, I have a separate course that teaches how to do this. Just contact me and I will give you the link. Talking about AI detector tool, when you paraphrase a text using CoolBot as we have learned, the AI tool may still detect it. Because of that, I am introducing you to this particular software called Paraphraser. So once you enter text here and paraphrase it, it is likely not to be detected by AI tool. For example, I've just entered this text. I will go on and click on paraphrase. After stating that I am not a robot, then click on paraphrase now button. It will count this process and give you this. So when you try it with AI detector, it will be free from detection. Now let us look at how to use AI detector 2. The one we are going to use is known as 0GPT. You can just go to this address and start to use it. So if I enter this text here and ask it to check whether it is AI detected, you can see it says it's 100% AI generated. You can see all of them. Now what I will do is to paraphrase it using paraphraser, because if you use Quillbot, it's still going to detect it as AI generated. So if I come to paraphraser, you can sign up from here, paraphraser.io. If you enter this text here and state that I am not a robot, then click on paraphrase now button. It will count this process. After that, it will show you this result. Now let us copy this text to see if it is still AI generated. So I will copy it here. Ctrl C for copy. Then come back to AI detector, which is 0GPT. So if I come back to 0GPT and enter the text and click on detector test, as you can see, it is now 0% AI generated. You see, this is how you can do this, so that your institution will not catch you that you are using AI to write your project. Remember to read and rework this thing. Remember to read it and confirm that they are correct. So this is the end of chapters in project writing. I believe this was helpful. Join me as we now go to the next lesson for the conclusion.